Mark Zuckerberg clarified to Senator John Cornyn that Facebook does not sell data. He said, and I quote, "There is a very common misconception that we sell data to advertisers, but we do not sell data to advertisers. What we allow is for advertisers to tell us who they want to reach, and then we do the placement." On day 2 of congressional testimony, Mark Zuckerberg said that important elections are coming up in many countries such as India, and Facebook will do its best to ensure that there is no meddling or fake news propaganda of any kind. He added that people whose data was compromised were victims. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg faced sharp questions about the tech giant's ability to track its users' movements and shopping habits on day 2 of congressional testimony. Zuckerberg revealed that his own personal information was among the ones handed over to the political consultancy Cambridge Analytica. US President Donald Trump has warned Russia of military action in Syria over a suspected poison gas attack, declaring that missiles will be lambasting Moscow for standing by Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Trump was reaching to a warning from Russia that any US missiles fired at Syria would be shot down and the launch sites targeted. The Russian military has said it is closely watching the situation around Syria and was aware of the movements of a US naval strike force headed for the Gulf. The US Navy had earlier said that the strike group headed by the aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman would set sail for the Middle East and Europe. The Russian military said the US strike force was due to arrive in the Middle East at the start of May. US President Donald Trump signed legislation aimed at penalizing website operators that facilitate online sex trafficking and chipping away at a legal protection for the technology industry. The law is intended to make it easier for state prosecutors and sex trafficking victims to sue social media networks, advertisers and others that kept exploitative material on their platforms. US President Donald Trump claimed ties with Russia are worse than during the Cold War. He has angrily blamed Special Investigator Robert Mueller for fueling bad blood with Moscow. The former FBI director is investigating Russia's efforts to tilt the 2016 presidential election in Trump's favor and has charged several of President's inner circle with various crimes, including money laundering and lying under oath. A Senate panel prepared to take up a bill that would ensure that President Donald Trump cannot fire Special Counsel Robert Mueller, who is investigating Russian election meddling. Lawmakers, including senior members of Trump's own Republican Party, have expressed concern after the president suggested he might remove Mueller when news of FBI searches in New York emerged. A New Jersey state court ruled that Johnson & Johnson must pay an additional $80 million in punitive damages in a lawsuit claiming a man developed cancer due to his exposure to asbestos in talc-based products. The company is separately fighting thousands of cases claiming that Johnson & Johnson products can also cause ovarian cancer. More than 257 people, including Western Sahara refugees, were killed when a military plane crashed near Algeria's capital. The Russian-built plane slammed into a field shortly after takeoff from a military about 15 miles southwest of Algiers. A Swiss official confirmed that missing German Karl Ivan Hobb has a minimal chance of rescue 4 days after he failed to return from a skiing tour in the Alps. Police were still searching for the experienced skier, whose family is among Germany's wealthiest. An attempted prison escape in northern Brazil has left at least 21 people dead. The incident occurred in the northern state of Pará and was instigated by a strongly armed external group, according to the State Secretariat for Public Security and Social Defense. Uber chief executive Dara Khosrowshahi stated that he still believes in the prospects for autonomous transport after one of its self-driving vehicles was involved in a fatal crash in Arizona last month. Khosrowshahi declined to comment on when the company might resume testing self-driving cars. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman arrived in Madrid on a two-day official visit to Spain. Prince Mohammed, who serves as defense minister and also controls economic and energy policy for the world's top oil exporter, is due to meet Spain's King Felipe and Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy. Fumes of icy water shot meters into the sky as parts of a frozen river in Tahi County of northeast China's Heilongjiang province were exploded to break the ice. Several sites were detonated in a planned effort to prevent chunks of ice from jamming due to temperature rise and causing catastrophic flooding in the region. U.S. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis has said the United States is still assessing intelligence about last weekend's suspected chemical weapons attack in Syria. He added that the U.S. military stood ready to provide military options if needed. U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Paul Ryan has announced that he will not run for re-election this year. Congress's most powerful lawmaker said he would not stand for another term in his Wisconsin district this November. Ryan joins nearly 30 House Republicans who have announced their retirement this year. Los Angeles County District Attorney is reviewing a sexual assault case against actor Kevin Spacey. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department said its Special Victims Bureau began an investigation into allegations of a sexual assault involving Spacey back in December 2017. The case involves events that reportedly took place in October 1992 in West in Hollywood, California, and involved a male adult. Yemen's Houthi rebels fired a ballistic missile at Saudi Arabia's capital Riyadh, saying the projectile travelled more than 800 kilometers into the kingdom. Al Masira, a TV network run by the Houthis, claimed responsibility for the attack on Twitter, saying the rebels fired a Burkan 2H, which is a Scud-type missile, towards the Saudi Defense Ministry. Julia Skripal, who was poisoned in Britain last month along with her father, said she did not wish to take up the offer of services from the Russian embassy in London. The embassy, however, said that they are continuing to insist on a meeting with Julia and Sergei Skripal. They added that the situation around Julia and Sergei looks more and more like a forceful detention or imprisonment. Britain's Prime Minister Theresa May expressed she was pleased Julia Skripal had been discharged from the hospital and wished her the best for her continuing recovery. Meanwhile, the Russian embassy in UK reacted to the news in a tweet congratulating Julia on her recovery, but demanding urgent proof that what is being done to her is in accordance with her own free will. The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres voiced concerns to the Security Council's 5 permanent members over the impasse on Syria, stressing the need to avoid the situation spiraling out of control. His comments follow the Council's failure to agree on a response to an alleged chemical attack in Syria's rebel-held Douma over the weekend that has triggered global fury. The charge sheet in the gang rape and murder of an 8-year-old Nomad girl in Jammu's Kathua have revealed chilling details about the crime as well as attempts of a police cover-up. 8 people, including 2 special police officers, have been arrested in connection with the crime. The 18-page charge sheet says that the girl went missing from near her house in Rasana village. She was gang-raped thrice inside a prayer hall. South Korea's national security advisor is in Washington for his first meeting with his new American counterpart, John Bolton. South Korea's national security advisor, Chung Wi-yong, led the South Korean delegation that met North Korean leader Kim Jong-un last month and then traveled to the United States to convey to President Donald Trump a summit invitation from Kim. Wall Street stocks fell as possible military action against Syria stoked investor concerns about geopolitical risk to the American economy. The decline followed 2 days of gains driven by easing concerns about trade tensions between the United States and China. British Prime Minister Theresa May has called government ministers to a cabinet meeting on Syria. Earlier reports suggested May was ready to give the go-ahead for Britain to take part in action led by the United States without seeking prior approval from Parliament. Ilham Aliyev has won a 4th term as president of Azerbaijan in an election which was boycotted by major opposition parties who accused him of authoritarian rule and suppressing political dissent. Aliyev and his supporters deny allegations of voter fraud and say dissent has not been suppressed. Pakistan President Hamnoon Hussain has said that South Asian countries must learn to overcome their problems for the sake of the future generations. He added that it is necessary to promote mutual cooperation in South Asia by rising above differences for the prosperity and well-being of people. WhatsApp is scouting for a full-time hire to lead its operations in India. The individual will lead the company's operations in India, including products for people and businesses, along with our interest in peer-to-peer payments. India is the largest market for the company with over 200 million monthly active users as of February 2017. Crew members of a SpiceJet plane flying from Coimbatore to Bengaluru observed smoke in the front cabin during landing. The pilots, however, did not opt for an emergency landing. No injury was reported and passengers were deplaned safely in a normal manner. SpiceJet has confirmed the incident. India's space agency ISRO launched the IRNS-1I or Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System 1I just 2 weeks after it had launched the GSAT-6A satellite. The satellite was launched from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. The IRNSS-1I is the 8th satellite to join ISRO's navigation satellite constellation. The Maharashtra government has announced cash prizes for athletes who have bagged medals in the Commonwealth Games in Australia. The gold medalists will be given a prize of 50 lakh rupees. Silver medalists will get 30 lakh rupees and bronze winners will get 20 lakh rupees. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will observe a day-long fast. Just a day back, the PM had announced his decision to hold a day-long fast to protest against the logjam in Parliament. PM Modi will also be travelling to Chennai today to inaugurate a major defence exhibition. Uttar Pradesh BJP legislator Kuldeep Singh Sengar made a midnight visit to the Lucknow police on as pressure mounted for his arrest over allegations that he raped a teenager last year and that his brother fatally assaulted the girl's father to force the family into dropping the case. The case has now been handed over to the CBI. A 1994 batch Indian Foreign Service officer, Sripriya Ranganathan, has been appointed as the new ambassador of India to South Korea. She will replace 1992 batch diplomat Vikram R. Doraiswamy, Sri Priya Ranganathan was previously the Joint Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs. The father of a missing Los Angeles-based banker has requested Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj's help. The man's wife and children went missing while they were traveling from Portland to San Jose. The missing man worked as the vice president of Union Bank and lived in Los Angeles with his family. And it's over to the world of sport. Shooter Shreyasi Singh won India's 12th gold medal of the 2018 Commonwealth Games by winning the women's double trap title in Gold Coast. Singh, a silver medalist in the category in 2014, clinched a dramatic final in a shoot-off to become India's first female shooter to win a double trap gold at the Commonwealth Games. There was a medal for India in the men's double trap too, as Ankur Mittal finished third in the event. The former world number one led the 8-man final till the halfway stage, but had to make do with bronze after dropping 3 targets in a row. But there was disappointment for India in the men's 50-meter pistol event as reigning champion Jeetu Rai conceded his title with a limp effort which saw finish bottom of an 8-man pool. India did, however, manage to claim their third shooting medal of the day in the same event, as Om Prakash Mitterwal came third for his second bronze of the Gold Coast Games. MC Mary Kom is assured of at least a silver medal on her Commonwealth Games debut after entering the women's 48 kg boxing final. The 35-year-old beat Sri Lanka's Anusha Dilrukshik 5-0 on a unanimous verdict to set up a gold medal bout against Northern Ireland's Christina O'Hara. The Indian men's hockey team have avoided a meeting with Australia in the semi-finals of the Commonwealth Games with a thrilling win over England in their final group stage game. India scored twice in the final 2 minutes of a dramatic seesaw contest to win 4-3 and finish top of Pool B.